Welcome to the Creating Creatives podcast, now presenting by Mommy and Daddy.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Creating Creatives, the podcast. This is episode 10.
Yeah.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bing little bell so that you get notifications when we do post the next video and every subsequent video after that.
If you are on YouTube, that is. And if you are listening on our podcast, make sure to give us 5 stars and a little review. And spread the word.
Spread the word. That'll help other people like yourselves, parents, or people who want to become parents, or people who take care of little kids, find the podcast as well. Cool?
Cool.
So our topic today is called Spoonful of Sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Inspired by, of course,
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. And yesterday, Shelly was like, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? Was it yesterday or last week?
No,
it was last week. It was much earlier. And I'd been thinking about it all day long. And this vision came to my head of the last scene of Mary Poppins where Mr. Banks had lost his job. All this stuff had happened. For those of you who haven't seen the original Mary Poppins, spoiler alert, he loses his job.
Spoiler alert. So like oh, yeah.
And
True, it's the end.
Bert, the chimney sweep at the time, because he has many jobs, was sitting there, he was listening to Mr. Banks, and he says, yeah, you have all these hard things, and you're so busy, and you have so many things that you're worried about. You don't have time to dry the tears off your kids' faces. You don't have time to do all this stuff for them and all that. And then this light bulb moment just happens, and you could see it in his face that he realizes that all these things that Mary Poppins is doing to make his kid's life brighter, like to add that spoonful of sugar to cleaning the room, was his job. As a dad, his job is to make the burden of life enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And so it's less of a burden. And one of the big things that we can do is to be there and to enjoy life with our children.
Yeah, inject a little fun into the everyday.
Yeah, make the everyday and make it
delightful.
Extraordinary. Add the extra in ordinary and make it extraordinary.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we did, actually this is a Shelley thing.
Yes. Which one? No.
The first one on our list.
No.
We have 6 for you.
Yeah.
We have 6.
We literally add sugar. And so this is something that I think I read somewhere online that if you, so what we do is we study and we eat chocolate. And so I read somewhere that eating chocolate actually helps you study. It helps you retain the information you're studying. There's some chemical connection going on there. And so I was like, well, that'd be a good idea, because Tristan is very smart. He picks things up very easily, but I don't want him to get into habits where he doesn't study. And so we do it for practice and just to get him in good studying habits and make sure he does well. And he hates studying, but I don't want him to hate studying.
Because he's very bright.
Yeah,
things come easy, and so why do I have to work at this? I already got it.
Yeah, but I want to build in good habits, right? And so, and it's not, and show him how he shouldn't be scared of it. And so it's like, we eat some chocolate and then we break it down, and it's like, let's go over we do the big bold print and all of that stuff, right?
And
all
it's not copious. It's
subheadings.
not copious amounts of chocolate. It's like literally less than a cup of chocolate.
Yeah, we got like a cup. The cup is, I feel like that's
no, it's like less than 8 ounces.
Yeah. So we get like what we do is chocolate chips. We have these like semi dark chocolate chips. Yeah, and we get we fill up it's like a little egg cup almost of chocolate chips, and then he eats them, and then we study.
It's not even 8 ounces. It's like 2.
No, it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's like a little kid handful, and we just eat chocolate chips as we study, and it's amazing how once I suggested that, it was kind of like, oh, okay. And now when we study, it's almost become a tradition, and it's a nice little thing he looks forward to. I look forward to it. And so that's kind of literally injecting sugar into something that you don't want to do.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of sugar. But another thing I just thought of actually depends on what your child is like for teaching is if he likes to teach. Tristan loves to teach.
Yeah.
And so today he was struggling with a subject, and he was just like, I told him, I was like, well, I'm really interested. He just went into 5th grade. We're homeschooling. And I was like, well, I really love learning. I think I'm just going to be so excited about learning everything in 5th grade. So I can be smarter than a 5th grader, finally. No. and he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, let me teach you how to do this, whatever it was. And we were learning about anatomy and bones and everything. And so he was reading all this stuff to me and teaching me.
Yeah.
And I was just soaking it in and listening and asking questions. And he was loving it. And Zoe does the same thing. I'll do it with her sometime. Of course, she gets up and does the full, like, well, I need my teacher whiteboard and I need like all of the things that go with my teacher accessories.
Let them take the lead. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was just another little homeschooling tip, letting them be the teacher, to kind of switch things up on them, right? But
yeah. Just literally let them take the lead. Let them have the choice of what we're going to be doing. I mean, I still have nail polish for my fingers from Zoe's spa that we did over a week ago.
Yeah.
But it's literally, what do you want to play? Like, you take the lead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, should we go to the next
Let's
topic?
go to the next one. Let's jump around because that was actually down here. So letting them take the lead is actually giving them the choice.
Yeah.
So having them choose whatever you're going to be doing next is one of the big things. So I remember we were making breakfast once, and I just started scrambling the eggs. Or I was having the kids scramble the eggs, and they're like, "What are we making? Scrambled eggs." "Oh, we're making omelets." I'm like, "Well, what are omelets?" I'm like, "Scrambled eggs, with stuff in it, like a Denver omelet is ham and cheese or whatever, peppers, and then another omelet is this. You have a chili omelet that's this." And I was like, "Well, where do they come up with the names of the omelets?" It depends who came up with it. If you come up with an omelet, you get to name it. And then Zoe said, "Well, can I make a Zoe omelet?" Like, sure. You choose whatever you want to put in it, and then it's a Zoe omelet. And that's where we came up with omelets with little candy sprinkles on them that you would put on ice cream.
Speaking of sugar.
Speaking of sugar.
We have more sugar
Perfect transition.
Yeah.
More sugar. Of course, I limited it. You can't have that many sprinkles.
No.
However, that's where the Zoe omelet came from. I mean, it's still less sugar than pancake and syrups.
It is so weird.
Another
Mommy,
example.
do you want a Zoe omelet? I'm like, I'm good. Can I have a Zoe omelet without the sprinkles?
Well, the sprinkles.
I know.
Well, and actually,
It
that
is,
activity
though.
that activity was also the time that Tristan realized that there is such a thing as too much sugar.
Oh, right. Oh, goodness.
He put too many sprinkles on his omelet.
No.
And he was like, "Yep, no, maybe that's a little too much."
Taste explosion in his
discolored
mouth.
the egg. That's how much sugar it was.
Oh man, but
So-
but it's such a nice idea because it's something, it's injecting a little bit of fun, a little bit of magic. It's like doing
little of their choice, yeah.
doing a little experimentation. Add some sprinkles to your omelet. Why not?
Why not? And I know the next one is stuff that I know I've seen some of our friends do on Instagram is make pizza with your kids. They get to choose whatever topping they put on the pizza.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just make the bread, the dough, and then put the sauce, and then they put the cheese or whatever.
Yeah,
on
and
their
we've done
own.
that a couple times with individual pizzas where you put out the sauce and the cheese, and most of the time they just want cheese.
Their choice.
Our
Yeah, I mean,
kids,
you can
but
either
yeah.
make the pizza yourself, you can order the pizza, or you can have them put the
Yeah.
toppings on.
Yeah.
You can do that with cookies.
Yep.
So their choice on cookies. What else?
Yeah.
Oh.
Smorgasbord.
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 I'd never eaten a smorgasbord before until Shelly started serving it.
Oh, it's like staple in my house.
Yeah, it's literally just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, snack boards.
Snack
the
boards
boards.
have,
The
like,
boards are really popular now.
Grapes,
Yeah, the kid boards.
crackers,
Cheese.
vegetables, celery,
Yeah.
cucumbers, tomatoes, just all these random things, and they get to choose whatever they want to eat, and they eat it.
Yeah.
However, you get to control what's on the smorgasbord, so
Yeah.
it can stay healthy.
Yeah. And having them also, what we do is we literally just get a board. We have some fun, nice shaped boards.
Like a cutting board.
Cutting
different
boards.
cutting
Yeah.
boards.
And then they'll put the different things on the board and arrange it. So they do a little bit of arranging. So snack isn't just like, here's some, chips and dip or something that's just on a plate for them. It's like, oh, look, we can make an exciting snack and we can add a little fun into our snack, right? So, that's a fun one and the kids love it. And it's like always all eaten by the time we're done with it. So
So their choice
their choice.
is number 2. And number 3 is changing the setting.
Yes.
This is something that you started introducing as well.
Yeah. So we were, you get into your rhythm, you do the same thing over and over again. After a while, it gets boring.
You
But
study in the kitchen all the time.
us adults don't necessarily think it's boring all the time because, I don't know, I like routine. I also like changing it up, though. And so we started doing book picnics. So we would do reading, and the kids they used to read inside all the time, and then they started being like, oh, reading. And I was like, oh no, this is not good, because I always want my kids to love reading. And so I took a blanket outside. It was a beautiful day. We got some books and we just sat outside and just read. And it was awesome. And so
Yeah.
since then we've been
It was
doing
literally in the yard on a blanket.
Yep, books outside. And then every Friday we would go to the library. This is another thing you can do. You can go to the library. When the libraries are open, you can go to the library and have a picnic. We would have a picnic outside the library, and then we would go in and get books, and then we would come out and have a picnic outside, but a book picnic, so it wouldn't have the food. So you don't get the food on your
Well,
books.
and there was one thing that I thought was amazing as well, was you guys would set up tents in the house, and one of
Yeah.
them was the dining room table, and they just draped blankets around the outside of it.
Yeah, big
and
old
they
sheet over.
brought their books in there, and they had a lantern, and they would read
Yep.
under the table in their tent.
Yep.
And they read.
Yep. And
They love reading.
we've even done it with camping tents. We have a small camping tent that we brought in the house before, and the kids have little kind of pop-up castle tents, and we brought them in the house for like about a week or two in the summer, and they went in their tents, and then we would do reading time in their tents. So that was fun too.
was
Inside,
intense.
it was intense.
It was very intense.
Tents in the house though, instead of outside the house. So it's
Yep.
kind of like, the topsy-turvy, doing things a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah. So just change the setting just a little bit.
Yeah, and that works for we do it a lot with reading, but that works also great with art.
It works well for dates as well. So Shelly and I have even done this where, I really want to go on a date. However, we couldn't find a babysitter and we needed that date right then and there, right? And so we set up a smorgasbord for ourselves, put the kids to sleep, and we literally just put a picnic blanket on the living room, set up the smorgasbord, got some wine. We didn't even put on a movie. We just put on Pogo, which is amazing background music. It's kind of like samples of everything,
Yeah.
but low key enough so that it's just background. And we just had an amazing conversation. And it was just a picnic blanket in the middle of the living room with some low lighting candles and Pogo.
Yeah, the picnic blankets, man.
They're awesome.
They're a great way to inject a little fun in the everyday. Yeah.
So the next one is racing against time. Racing, like just giving a deadline, I know for adults,
Urgency.
it increases the urgency, but for the kids, it's a little bit more excitement. So
Yeah.
I remember doing this with the kids, and it was Tristan, and it was all of them trying to get them ready for school. And
Yeah.
I just took out my phone, put the stopwatch on, and I said, "All right, guys, ready, go. Let's see who can set the record." And they're like,
What? Record?
Grab
Record?
the pants, grab the shirt. And
As fast as possible.
As fast as possible. The next day, sure enough, same thing. All right, guys, the record yesterday was 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Go. And then they would do it. Zoe's record is this. Tristan's record is this.
We were so excited about
They
that.
were so
They loved it.
excited.
They were like asking after that, "What's the record? Can I
What's
try
the
the
record today?
Yeah, what's the record today? I was like, Roy, what's the record?
Yeah, and you can do that with getting dressed, getting ready for school, cleaning up.
Yeah, cleaning up, it works really great too. So you set a timer. I'll set a timer and be like, and sometimes it'll just be whatever we get clean in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or
Yep.
sometimes it will be, let me see how long it takes to clean the room. That doesn't always work as well as, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and let's see what we can get done cleaned by then. Because then everyone is like, whoa, let's go. And then we finish sometimes before the timer and they're like, wow, really shows you how much we can get done in 10 minutes.
Yep. That time is a good way to spice things up.
Yeah,
Just add
inject a little
deadline.
bit of time in there, a little deadline.
Time and some rosemary and spice it up. You could try with schoolwork, but with schoolwork, it's a little bit. It depends on how much attention the schoolwork needs. If it's like
Yeah, it totally depends on what the
Yeah.
schoolwork is.
it depends on what it is, but if it's just like writing something over and over, sure, try it with that.
Yeah.
Next,
Yeah. Yeah. What else we got?
What else we
other
got?
Fun ways to. Yes. This is a good one.
adding a background track. Let's go to
Yes.
adding a background
Okay.
track because you can do that with homework. Just put on some fun music.
Yes. We did this today, actually. So Tristan was really struggling with his favorite subject of handwriting. He was
I got a D in penmanship.
He
He takes after me.
your handwriting is so nice. I
It
have
is
no
now.
idea why. Yeah, because you practiced.
Engineering drafting
Oh,
classes.
there you go. So yeah, he was dreading. He was so sad, and I was like, "Well, You have to do it, buddy. Like, there's no way around it. You have to do this subject, and you have to do it every day. And it's just a page a day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, how can we make this fun? And so I told him. And he's old enough now where I try and make him aware of these things so that he can then help problem
You
solve.
can self-regulate
Yes,
later on.
yeah,
You can
and-
critical think
Yeah,
his way out of it.
solve problems in his future that when he comes across similar things he doesn't want to do. So
Self-motivate.
yeah, exactly. And so I was like, what do you want to do? We could, when you're handwriting, I was like, you could try if you want a little bit of chocolate, like. And he was just like, well, like chocolates for studying. Duh.
Yeah.
No. And then I was just like trying to think of things. And I was asking him, what could you do to make this time more special? Maybe it's something you do first thing in the morning and you get it done with out of the way of the day. Or maybe you save it for the end of the day. Or maybe you listen to something when you're doing it. He loves listening to stories. So I was like, maybe you could listen to a story, which I don't let him do when he's doing other work because he needs to concentrate on what he's doing. But with handwriting,
Like repetition, repetitive.
yeah,
motion,
you're just writing. He's focusing
letters
on the
over and
letters
over.
over and over again. And so I was like, maybe you could listen to a story. And he was kind of down with that. And then the other thing I said is, I was like, don't look at it as handwriting. Look at it as art. And he thought that was crazy, but I'm working on him on it, with him on it.
Well, and then the 2 Z's is literal background music. You
Yeah.
put on background music, they'll be bouncing around, singing along, and
Yeah.
cleaning the room.
Yeah, and it's fun to surprise them.
Drawing.
Actually, that is a fun thing sometimes when if you overhear them, it's like catching them doing something good. You overhear them singing a song, and then I'll get on my my phone and I'll play it in the room, and then all of a sudden they're like, "What? The song I was just singing is now coming on. This is crazy."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, background music literally makes the day or any task even better.
Yeah.
Final, last and not least, and the best, I think, that's why I saved it for last, is adding purpose.
Yeah, this is a good one.
You just add a purpose to whatever it is you're doing. And I never thought that you would be able to add a purpose to a walk. But I think anyone who plays Pokemon Go knows that you can add purpose to walk. But
Yeah.
if you don't want to add electronics to it, you did something that I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
We go for rainbow walks. I haven't been on one recently. We need to get back on that. But we look for, it's like a color walk. So you go and you look for colors, and there's multiple ways you can do it. You can get a paper and draw the colors of the rainbow and then pick up things that match those colors. Or if you want to, you not pick things, you can look at them or take a picture on your phone or just point them out. Be like, look, there's a red rose over there. I got red. And then look, there's an orange flower over there. I got orange. But you could do that with so many different things. So you could do it with animals. You can do it with shapes. We've done it with shapes before. Even just walking around the house looking for different shapes when
It's like a scavenger hunt.
yeah,
almost,
scavenger
yeah.
hunt. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah.
Yeah, you can take a normal walk and turn it into a scavenger hunt
Yep.
for whatever you want.
Yep.
Colors, animals, cars,
Shapes. Yep. Sounds.
sounds.
Use all the senses.
Ooh,
Smells.
never even thought about that.
Smells around dinner time would be good. Who's cooking steak? Who has barbecue? Which house do we want to go to? Let's get home. I'm starving.
Which house has a dog?
Oh gosh, it's horrible.
Sorry, I had to go there. I can't help it. So another thing that I started doing a while ago was basically putting them on camera. So the purpose is we're going to turn this into a video that you can post on your channel, right? Or this was when Tristan had Cooking with Tristan, and then now Zoe has Zoe's Playground, and Zachary has Zachary's Playground. Well, essentially,
Because we know all kids have
blogs, right?
YouTube
Everyone
channels
has YouTube
now.
channels now. So I got Zachy to wash dishes with me. I'm like, hey, Zachy, come wash dishes. And he's like, oh, I don't want to wash dishes. I'm like, well, just get on up here. I'm going to put my phone on and I'm going to record and then we can post it. We can send it to everyone. He's like, oh, okay. So
Since
hit
you
record
said
and he's
I'll be
just like,
famous on YouTube by washing the dishes.
he's
Sure.
sitting there posturing. I'm a good dishwasher, like so. And I know it works for the other two as well. Like Zoe's just a camera.
Oh my goodness.
She
She
plays
is.
the camera all the time. So just hitting record on a camera, even pretending that it's recording, it might make it a little bit more special. But if you actually do something with it, like
Yeah.
actually post it on like your family's. I know we have WhatsApp. You can post it in your family's WhatsApp thread, or you send it to the other parent, or send it to your kid's iPad or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives it purpose. It gives them a little bit of pride. The fact that the good deed or the chore or the homework that they did was recorded
Yeah.
and
Just a
immortalized.
little bit of fun in every day. Another thing, these are I'm just going to throw some random ones out there now. When we do baths, sometimes I'll get shaving cream and I'll spray shaving cream in the bath. So they're like, oh, wow, we have a shaving cream bath. It's like from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
it's
the best
more
spent
moldable
dollar.
than just bubbles. Like you can actually do stuff with it.
Yeah, and then balloons. We bought balloons this summer, and just having them have balloons is just kind of a fun thing in the house. And oh my goodness, there's so many different things you can do. But just think of everything you're doing during the day with your kids specifically, and even in your own life.
Yeah,
think of
even
ways
with your spouse or your significant other.
Think of ways
your
you can
coworkers.
inject. Yeah, think of ways you can inject a little bit of fun. Surprising your significant other with a coffee date or even a coffee, which Roy does for me sometimes. He'll bring me home a coffee,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the best.
And I won't tell her. I'll just sneak that iced coffee in the fridge.
Yeah, it's so good. I love
Or,
it.
I mean, even just the Post-it, right? There was one time
Yeah.
Shelly just put a bunch of Post-its on the bathroom
Mirror.
mirror with like all these little messages. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I try to do every single day is text I love you
Yep.
to Shelly every single day just to make the day a little bit more special.
Yeah.
Just, oh my gosh, I haven't texted her yet. Boom, boom. And it became a race.
Where's my I love you text? No.
She's like, ooh, I got you first. I was about to do it. Ah, you beat me.
I know.
So
Ha, take that.
yeah, just basically just try to make every ordinary day extraordinary. And it
Yeah.
doesn't take much.
No.
Just one little thing with a lot of thought put into it.
Yeah, not even a lot of thought
Not even,
sometimes.
yeah. Not even a lot of thought, just
Yeah,
something.
Just something to make it fun. Breakfast is always a fun thing to do. Get up, surprise your kids with breakfast, or make the table a little fancy, put on a tablecloth, or some sprinkles on the table. Not sprinkles, like confetti on the table.
Oh yeah, confetti.
Yeah, balloons. I mean, kind of a little celebrate every day, because every day is truly a blessing and something that should be celebrated. And our little Zoe loves celebrating.
Oh my gosh.
Everything.
She
wants
tries to make every day special.
so
she tries
special.
to celebrate every
She
single
wants to make
day.
like a cake and a pie and go shopping and do all of these things, and it's so inspiring. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, let's do it.
She's gonna change the world, make it a happy place.
She is.
Which is awesome
Sure.
because her name means happy. I think Zoe means light and Blythe. Her middle name means bliss. Zoe Blythe. She makes every day happy.
She does.
So, with that, we leave you with a spoonful of sugar. Hopefully, you can make use of these ideas and come up with some creative ones of your own.
I was going to say, make the medicine go down.
Make the medicine go down.
Yeah.
So, just a little recap literally, sugar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Changing the setting.
Changing the setting, making it their choice. Just have them choose what to do
Yep.
and how to do it.
Do a little race against time.
Race against time. Adding a background track, whether it's a story or it is music. And finally,
Adding purpose.
adding some kind of purpose to the activity that you're doing. With that said, we hope that you got a little bit of sugar from this episode. Now go off. Sprinkle some sugar in your kid's life. And we are going to end this right now. Episode 10.
Out.
Out. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.